All right, good afternoon, should I say good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Reliable Representation Talk Show. We're going to be kicking off here very, very shortly. So, y'all just hang tight, be patient, and we will be with you very, very shortly. We hope y'all had a good week. To Handy on get us hope y'all had a good week, and Handy will get us queued up here in a minute. Yes. How you doing today over
I'm good. I'm good. We're getting
there?
ready for Easter.
You're looking all blessed with your
Yeah, I want to be bright for Easter. We getting ready for the Easter holidays. Y'all ready for the resurrection?
yeah.
Jesus rose
Jesus rose.
on the third day with our power.
All power. He rose. He rose. He rose. If you don't hear that at church, you need to go home. If you don't hear the pastor say he rose with all power, yeah, just don't even go back. We're gonna have a very interesting show this evening, y'all. We'll see y'all in just a moment. All right. Good evening, everybody. So I think Handy was looking for the name Brittany. Brittany Bowman. She's sitting there with her Easter dress on. Y'all got a yellow Easter colors on. Got us all confused. But good evening, Mississippi. Hope y'all enjoying well. Some of them little yellow ride.
Y'all, they on me tonight. I'm trying to be bright, you all, for Easter. Sunday is Easter. He rose, right?
He rose. All power in this thing.
I didn't even say it.
He rose. He rose. So y'all definitely excited about Easter Sunday coming up. As you know, tomorrow is Good Friday. Kids are out of school. You know, kids out of school Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. And that's
Ain't that a good break?
It is. That's a real good break.
I need one of them.
My son came home and told me, Dad, we out of school Monday and Tuesday. I'm letting you know because you'll have to get the bus stop because I sure will. And I probably still will. Ain't something from school. You sure they closed Tuesday?
Yes, they are closed too.
Okay, so the kids get a really good break for Easter. So we definitely
They celebrate he rose.
celebrate He Rose. I guess it's not just look for Easter eggs so you give them another day of rest.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about last week. How did your last week go?
Last week went pretty good. Let's see, it's all of Florida. I'm trying to think what did I do?
Easter egg hunt. You told me that you was going to participate in the Easter egg hunt.
That's right. That's right. How am I going to forget about that? We were in Byram, Davis Road Park in Byram, Mississippi. All the woman, Rochelle Gibson, had an Easter. When the Easter egg, she was giving the Easter eggs out.
Okay.
And she just had a barbecue, had music, dancing. It was really fun. I enjoyed that. And of course, what did I do that day? I just
You went to the Ash Jam parade. You said and threw out some candy.
That's it, the Ash Jam Parade. So that's one of my favorite events of the year. So when out there, I was tired. I didn't realize it was as long of a walk as I guess I'm getting old, but I was
It
tired.
wasn't a long walk. You are from Cash Favor to Cardozo. It's not that long of a walk. So I think it's he creeping up on.
Well, I guess when you're not cross country runner like the lady in yellow over here, she got a yellow trying to be smart. How many times you can walk?
One. Just one. Only one.
Did you go the whole way?
Mm-hmm.
You got a perfect got that way.
Mm-hmm. And I sat down. I found the nearest chair and sat down. I did.
But y'all, it was a very, very fun event. But we always enjoy, and I got him and Cynthia Thompson said, girl truck over there. We're gonna put on a girl truck, okay? Y'all gonna put it afterwards. Y'all are the first one or two. But definitely a very, very good weekend. What did you do this weekend? Because I didn't see you at the Ash Jam Parade.
You didn't.
There was a lot of people there I didn't see when I went back. I saw the picture. But what did you do?
I was busy resting and taking care of the seat this past weekend.
Okay, well, that's always good. Y'all always doing good things like that. And I can't remember what else. I'm telling you all this is a story because I have not really been doing much.
He had been in constituent services this week, you all.
I've been getting a little rest. Hey, Mr. Rodney Blues. I've been getting a little rest this week, thankfully. So it's all a blur. I don't even know what I did this week.
I know those two.
I'm going to start writing it down. That's what I'm going to start doing.
But I know sounds good.
We are getting geared up for something very important on Tuesday. Does anybody know what it is?
Vote Day.
That's right. Everybody's saying Vote Day. Yeah, I'm gonna get you an Easter egg. I'm gonna get you your Easter egg. So remember. So y'all, we're gonna have our runoff elections on Tuesday. We have a few runoff races in Byram. There are no runoffs in Byram. Everybody won at primaries or some have had generals, but in Jackson, we have a few runoff elections. And we're going to let you speak to one of the candidates in just a moment here, but we have a few council seats as well as the mayor seat is going to a runoff on Tuesday. And it's going to be very, very, very interesting. Runoff elections are always interesting. The one key to a runoff is getting the people back out to vote, because a lot of people, it's hard to get people out first time, but when we look at a runoff, it's hard to get them back out. So we do know our candidates out there working very, very hard to get their people to come back out. If you voted in the primary, if you don't go back and vote in the runoff, guess what? Your vote did not count. You need to make sure that you go back out there and make sure that your vote counts. You just wasted your time if you don't go back in the runoff, because the candidates need every single vote. In runoffs, we see races come down to 1 to 2 votes sometimes. So we can't stress the importance of getting back out there to vote. And all right, hey there, Mr. Stamps from Stamps Performance. How you doing? You got to catch stray dogs today. That's our animal control officer in Byron. He does a great job.
I know you called him.
Yeah, several times. He does a great job. So we appreciate everything that you're doing. And Ms. Bowman, what else you got church announcements up there?
I do have church announcements today. You all, when I didn't have a list, he was complaining. Now I come with a list, he still had something to say. So I do want to say to candidates who were not successful in the primary, have one word to you. Please pick up your signs. Your signs now is becoming litter.
That's 5 words.
Your signs are becoming litter, and so we definitely want these signs up out of our community. Some of you all names were taken off, I think, before the actual list was ran, and for whatever reason or another, I understand life happens. Your signs are still about the city, and we definitely need that up. It's looking a little trashy now, so if you don't mind, please, ma'am, please, sirs, please pick up your signs. I don't like to call people out, but if I keep driving and I see I'll definitely make contact with you to let you know that your signs are out. I think it's only fair that we hold each other accountable for what we don't do, because sometimes it can be oversight, and there are times when we just frankly don't do. So I definitely want to encourage all candidates, please pick up your signs. Thanks so very much from Brittany.
All right, and I think that really shows, how serious you are as a candidate. If we got an echo again this evening. All right, y'all text it back and let me know if the echo's going away. I don't know why we're having that. But that really shows how serious of a candidate a person is, because if someone that's not gotten out to get their signs up, my thought process would be, let me get my signs, because I'm gonna run again. I need every single sign that I can get. And then if you win your race, you're gonna be saying, I need to get them, because I know I'm gonna have to reuse these signs again. So candidates, please get your signs up. You definitely wanna, you may not have won your race, but you definitely wanna go out with integrity and show people that you have integrity, you care about the city, and you just didn't put your sign up and leave it up until the next election, which is 4 years away. So that's so important. And next announcement, Miss Announcement Clerk.
Okay, so we also want to talk about voting a little bit. I just want to hit on this point, you all. We're constantly complaining about recycling people in office. I do want to say, if you want a fresh idea or something new, you have to vote differently. I've heard the old cliche, don't fix it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, that is true, and it has its negative and positive connotations. However, each person has to analyze their current state of living and say, hey, am I satisfied or am I dissatisfied? If I'm dissatisfied, then definitely I need to select a different choice. And I really want you all to definitely stop complaining. There's a lot of complaining going on, but very few action. And me and Fabian talk about it all the time. If you're complaining, you're a part of the problem. You're definitely not a part of the solution, because you're not actively engaged. So definitely, let's stop recycling the same people. Let's put new faces in. And again, if your person that represents you aligns with your values and your beliefs, keep them. But if that person does not, then it's definitely it's time to do an evaluation to not place that same person back in office.
All right, I'm going to say hello to Miss Darlene Wilson out there in the big old city of Utica, Mississippi. Thank you so much, Miss Darlene, for always tuning in. And I want to send a shout out to the Mississippi Democratic Party. If y'all are looking on social media, I think yesterday they posted a picture, and I was really proud when I looked at this picture, but they posted a picture of all legislators that voted against the anti-DEI bill. And I was proud because guess what? Every single Democrat in the Senate and the House voted against it, stood in solidarity and voted against it. So that was a proud moment. It shows unity within our party. Even though people say that we aren't unified, the one thing I can say is we're unified on the issues that matter. When we're talking about human rights issues and fairness, we're all unified on this. So I am proud of all of my fellow Democrats. So great job for doing that. It's a new wave coming through, and I'm proud to be a part of it. And we have a caller, really handy to get it. And you can go to the next one. Hey, caller, you on the air?
Hey, big guy, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I just want to piggyback on your co-host. She does a great job. I like when you speak. I've been riding around the city, and I've been doing this, and I listened at all candidates. How they talking about Jackson is this, Jackson is Jackson this and that. It goes back to what she said. Nobody come and got their signs up. It seems like every time these guys run and they lose or whatever happens, the signs just stay there. They be all over the street. They just be everywhere. But another thing, I don't know who those guys that had a show early in the evening from 4 to 5 or whatever, but they have another young lady with them, and I'm sure you guys have heard. They always talk about, and I'm not criticizing the mill, but they always talk about the mill got $850-some million. The mill got this much money. I'm like, if they got all this money, where is this money at? It's good, he got it, but where is the money? Then they made a statement about why are we making changes in Jackson? You got and they ain't making no changes. You got this. Everybody doing something wrong. Everybody got skeletons in their closet. But when you got people that's doing the right thing, people ain't paying no attention to your wrong. You only pay attention to the wrong when you don't see nothing else. And I'm going to hang up and let you pick it back on that button.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for calling in. And hold that thought. We got another call. Hey, caller, you on the air?
Hi, I was calling. The young lady that was on there, she was talking about them cleaning up Jackson. And I do understand it's a blight to our fight when we pass through. But why does every other city around us utilize the inmates to clean up except Jackson?
Yes, sir. That is a very good question. And I've heard that question several times because they do use inmates. I know
They
that
do. Every other city I go to.
And what I've
Brandon, Pearl, Richmond, Madison, every city. Except Jackson. I see nobody out there picking up any trash.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Now, I do know that I've heard something because we've inquired about this, and they said something in regards to what is it, the consent, what is it, the order, the consent decree order that the Hinds County Sheriff Department is currently under, that has some effect on as to why they're not able to allow them to come out and do things in municipalities. But now MDOT has a new agreement with MDOC to have inmates. And I know y'all probably been seeing the Interstate 220 along Interstate 220 been pretty clean. So that's a great point that you're making. We need to see what we can do about getting it resolved.
You know who I seen picking up trash on 220?
Who's that?
I seen a bunch of Mexicans out there picking up trash.
Yes, ma'am. So we getting it
yes,
done.
Yes, sir. That's what I seen.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Hopefully they'll let them come out and clean up our streets also.
That's it. Look, we're going to get back on it. Going to reach back out to the sheriff again and see what we need to do because that makes a lot of sense. And those young men would love to get out to do something. Yes, ma'am. Thanks for calling. All right. So we are going to go ahead and shift on and bring our candidate on up that we have in the studio with us. And we have none other than I'm going to let you not introduce. I already know who you are, but I'm going to let them tell you who you are.
Hello, everyone. This is Iman Thompson, and I'm running to be your next Ward 6 councilman. I'm glad to be here on your show, Representative Nelson.
All right. We're happy to have you, and congratulations. You came out on the top of the ticket last time.
You're working hard.
Just in Mississippi, you got to have a 50% plus one. Yes. So tell us, what have you been doing to get voters back out to the polls?
Well, we have been actually going back to knocking on doors, especially in those areas that we may have not done so well. We were dealing with a lot of speculation to how the other candidate may have received her votes, which I'm not, saying that she didn't get them the way she should. But I do know of a lot of confusion with the names and all that kind of stuff. And there were a lot of issues down there with the city. And I'm saying this online because I mean on the air because I know it was truthful. There was a lot of issues. People that should have been voting for me was not able to vote for me because they sent them back to their old precinct. So it's been verified that those issues were there and all the blame's been thrown all over. But hopefully this round, we shouldn't have no issues because we don't have a lot of people. We don't have about 4 people in the runoff. So, so you got to go up in there and I'm asking all those who plan to vote for me, if you can count to 2, 1, 2, start with Ward 6, just say 1, 2, and I'm the one on the bottom. Check my name and you will be voting for me. But if you want to vote for me and you do not see my name, do not vote. You go find the person in charge.
Don't leave.
Don't leave, but go to the person in charge. Did I say leave?
You said don't vote.
Don't vote.
I said don't leave and go to the manager there in the poll. Let her know that you want to vote for me, but you don't see my name. And if that doesn't work, you can give me a call at 601-376-6457. Wherever you are, I will be there to flash because my goal is to be out there roaming around. If I hear of any issues, I'm going to be right there. So I'm looking forward to you all coming back on April 22nd to vote for me. Again, the race is not over until I cross the hump, but I believe I can do it. I know I will do it if you just come back out and continue to support me.
All right, so you mentioned there were some issues with confusion with with precincts and who voted where, and I know that's from redistricting because this is the first time since Jackson redistricted. So can you tell me, have the municipal? Let me just clarify this. This is not the Hinds County Election Commissioners; these are municipal. So I want to make sure that nobody thinks that this is on them. But have the municipal election commissioners had conversations about rectifying the issues?
I know that the councilmen have been talking to some of them. They have admitted that there were some issues. And so the fact that that's known, they're hoping that everything should turn out correctly this time. If not, then I'm going to be prepared to bring the people that I know to the table that's willing to come on my behalf to let them know the situation that they went through. But like I said, we're just hoping that everything is done the way they're supposed to be done. Everybody get a chance to vote who they want to vote for, and then everything will be good.
Yes, sir. And that's important. Election integrity is important. And when we talk about people not going to vote, when you think about that, if you have your mindset to go vote for a candidate and you know this candidate is your candidate, and you go in the poll and they tell you that he's not on the ballot there, you're like, well, I'm not going to go back and vote anymore because these people are playing.
Yeah, mess around with me.
Yeah, so we're gonna make sure, and if it's not right, we'll go to bat for you and with you to make sure that's done. Because I mean, every vote counts. Everybody deserves a fair chance. All candidates.
And it's already tough enough to make the decision to go, and then you go and still have to deal with these other issues that you shouldn't be dealing with. So hopefully, city staff, election staff, if you there, let's get this right this time. And so if we can go ahead and get this thing over with, so I can start working, because if I win the runoff or when I win the runoff, I'm in the seat, I'm already working, and we're gonna shift in 2 or 3 more gears. We're gonna get on down the road.
I was just about to say, you can't start working because you never stop. You working now. He gonna turn it up a little bit, y'all.
I'm gonna tell you what my goal is when the mayor sit down, I'm gonna have my proposal ready. I'm gonna have everything ready. My goal is to be the first one to put my plan right in his face. So we're gonna be ready. And Ward 6, you're gonna see some changes. I'm gonna start in my worst areas, especially some of those bad roads and streets out there, and we're gonna get those thoroughfares cleaned up from all of the dilapidated and burnt property. We're gonna see some major changes within my first 100 days.
That's it. All right, Ms. Bowman over here with the Easter egg yellow on. What you got? You like one of the little peeps, one of the little peeps.
Even her glasses are yellow.
Glasses yellow?
On that dark skin.
She says, today, I want to commend you again for running. To sacrifice yourself for service in itself is definitely a calling, because many people do not do it, but they always criticize. So first, I want to commend you for that.
Thank you.
Then I want to say thank you for what you're already doing and what your plans are to do for South Jackson. South Jackson has been forgotten for a long, long time. And I hate to say it, it seems like when white flight occurred, that's when South Jackson became the slave child in essence. And so I look forward to hearing and seeing and doing whatever I can do to assist you in bringing South Jackson back to what it can be.
And it's so bad. I mean, it really touches my heart My wife and I drive off streets and we almost in tears that people have to go through there. You see a few houses in there that are struggling to maintain their houses. Yards are clean. They got flowers. They got their crosses out there. The flowers, the yard just meticulous. But then you got 2-3 houses right after that that's dilapidated and burned. And then on the other side, I said, it's just, we wonder why our society in South Jackson the way it is. People are angry. Those people have almost lost hope. And they're just angry because of just what's around them. So we got to at least clear their head. Anybody that live in a situation like that is not going to have nothing but mental problems. You already go get mistreated at work and school, wherever, then you come home, got to deal with this. We got to get it cleaned up.
Correct.
We got to get it cleaned up.
We do, and I want to first say good evening to Miss Mary Bradley and to Miss Tanya Bentley Marshall says, get out to vote. It's important. And shout out to Mr. James Hobson with Hobson Junk Removal. But I want to take y'all back to a few weeks when we had this power outage. And, we had the families over in South Jackson that were without power for 24 hours.
Yes.
Do you notice how when we first got there, I got there, but you got there probably 30 minutes after me. Did you notice how standoffish everybody was? And they were like, oh, be careful out here. The people, they be careful out here. But we just sat out there, and do you see how they warmed up?
Yes.
And by the end of they came from everywhere.
We had a block party.
Had a block party, but once they saw like that somebody cares about them, they warmed up. And even to this day, we still go by and check on them. So I think that's what's important, reestablishing that trust in our communities. I see we got a caller. Let's see what we. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
The solution to our problem is unity. And we have to understand that we're electing these people. It's like if you and the man there, whether y'all self-employed or work for somebody, you have to have accountability. And me and some more people are forming Jackson Political Action Committee for Growth and Development. But we got to put some teeth behind our vote. We just can't be voting unless we let the candidates and the people who are being elected that we're watching you and watch our committee. We're going to watch you. You need to be of integrity. But what we have in the city of Jackson is a systemic problem. Everything is rigged and clicked. And we got to dismantle that. And I'm putting my vote behind John Horn because we need a statement. We don't need no more of these political powers in Jackson, whether their last name think they're controlling anything, but this tax and take policy that we have in Jackson and given to a little fewer people that's been dangling along for 40 and 50 years. And we got to return all city assets back to the people. Everything is privatized, sir. We have a permit and planning department privatized. We have a dog service. People called me yesterday, said, we can't pick up dogs, but they're riding around in the dog pound trucks. No accountability. No code enforcement. Come on, man. Let's get it right. Let's get it right, people. If you go to work and you sit on your behind and don't put in the work to get your check, you need to go. It's plain and simple. But I ain't gonna hold y'all up. But if y'all down for it, growth and development, and 72% of the real estate is owned by people out of state, and y'all ain't fully understanding what's going on here.
Yeah.
But we're gonna expose these people in 2025. You're either gonna get up or get down, or like they say, or lay down, because it's time for the feds in Washington, D.C. to come to Jackson, because the feds here are compromised.
Yeah.
And it's time, if you're paying tax, you have the right to pave streets,
That's right.
police protection, lower taxes, better schools, and all this in a bag of beans.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you can talk on the radio, but it's time to put teeth to the food. And if
Right.
it's good for the soul, let's go with it. If it's not, We ain't just electing nobody for no clicks, no motive, no family. If, like I say, minority participation, you want to build all this stuff, but you want to hire people that ain't going to spend the money in the community. Come on, black folks.
Yes.
We're
Okay.
not a class people, and you better get claimed because Donald Trump going to show you what it's all about. You
Okay.
either stick together or fall down.
Okay. Thank you so much, caller, for your call.
Thank you, caller.
Fabian, one
Yes,
thing I want to mention, when we were coming in, we heard some stuff about, the one gentleman was asking these people, what do they owe? What do they own? They mentioned all their personal stuff, their clothes, their car, but then he let them know that you own the streets, you own the bridges, you own the lights. People, if you pay taxes, all this public stuff out there, the buildings,
The
all of that
schools.
belong to you, the school, all that belong to you, and you have a say so in what happens. And you have the right to say what you want to see and what you don't want to see. So don't think that you just own your personal stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there we own.
That's so true. And I never thought about it that way.
So I want to go back to two callers before that. The young man called in and he said that he agreed with some statements that I made about the signage and other litter options that I had provided. And what I want to say, going back, because he asked us to comment on that before we went to our next topic or next guest. And so what I want to say, sir, is I believe in charity starts at home and it's spread abroad. I can't tell anyone else how to clean their house up if I don't clean up mine. And so what we need to do is learn to accept accountability and responsibility in our own communities and take those back. You know, we oftentimes fault the Caucasian, our counterparts and the other Arabic and other different nationalities that are here, but they are coming because they are getting a tax write-off in essence, and it's free labor for them. So they're coming to get rich, taking it back to their countries.
Mm-hmm.
What we can do in most instances, African Americans dominate everything. We dominate the sports, we dominate education, but what we do is we don't change our mindset. We continue with whatever is popular. Sometimes to get to the top, you got to do something different. And it's just been theoretically proved. If you keep doing the same thing, don't expect a different result. So saying that to say, you all, we have to change. Fabian and I and Mr. Thompson were on Shannon Street before I even knew of this issue, but Fabian and I have taken in a new family. We have taken in this young lady. She has 6 children and 1 grandchild, and Fabian and I, and of course, Mr. Hobson has went by, Sheriff Jones. And so we're all trying to figure out what can we do to help. The mom is on hard times. She's just down on her luck, period. There's no other way to put it. However, I've made posts about it on social media. And I even told Fabian, there's a church on every block in this city. There's no reason why churches can't come together and find permanent placement for this young lady. But I have one thing to say is because we go in there for a fashion show on Sundays and we don't come outside of that building to do our missionary work. God is about service. If you can't serve your mankind, you're not really doing any service to each other. Me helping Fabian already has. God's not looking for me to help Fabian. Now, if he is in need, yes, and exhibit kindness, yes, but it's no reason for me to pour into Fabian and I see this mother over here struggling with 6 children and I have nothing to give. You all, that is selfish because all of us are going back to our nice, respective homes, whether we like it or not. We're blessed. May not have the $200,000 home, but I'm proud of my little $42,000 home I have. You know, we have to think about it that way and be happy and help each other. So we got to change it. And then the other young lady called in about inmates. So I was eager to text Sheriff Jones and ask him what was going on. And so he stated to me that not at the moment, those were state inmates cleaning the highways only. And because as you all alluded to, the consent decree that the county is over right now is not a time that we can feasibly do it. But what we can do, you all, is when we're having these neighborhood cleanups, get up and come out and help us clean up. And 2, tell your children, your friends, your neighbors, stop throwing trash out the windows. Because I see it every day, all day. You're just throwing trash out. But then we say, oh, it's so nasty, our other cities. Yeah, because if you go to Madison, you're going to get arrested or a big hefty citation.
Probably 10 years in jail. You go there, throw a piece of paper out the car.
Right. But you all do it here in Jackson because it became acceptable. You all, we have to stop accepting what is radical that we know that we shouldn't be doing, but we accept it and we do it because people have made it the norm. And that goes back to my final point. City of Jackson operations. Me and Fabian been on this for the last 2-3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing personal against the mayor, nothing at all. But right is right and wrong is wrong. You can't expect for your city to thrive when you have people in positions who do not care about your people, that you said that you were in office to serve your people. When I have directors and assistant deputy directors and all these people talking to people that we're recommending for jobs as if they are illiterate or scum on the ground, that says a lot about your leadership. I don't care who it is. You can call me out and say I'm wrong. I really don't care. Right is right. Everybody has feelings. Everybody is applying for something to get to the next level. We all started somewhere, whether that was a custodian or the secretary. You started somewhere before you got to the top. And the people that I have been experiencing in the planning department, code enforcement, they are not helping Jackson move to the next level. And that's just the way I see it. They can tell me all day that, you know, I'm biased or whatever. And it's not always about because I want someone that I know to get a job. But what I do want is I want fairness for somebody that's actually doing the work. If people are already doing the work, you shouldn't ask me a million questions and Jackson look the way he does. I mean, I just don't get it. Fabian was so mad he wanted to go down there. I said, nah, friend, stay at home. Don't go, because if you put your glasses on to go, somebody gonna get it. But we have to stop that. And I think it's going along to get along.
Absolutely. Here we go. Say call after the show. Okay, Miss Janice Adams. Hey there, Mike Magazine. How you doing? And so we're gonna let Mr. Thompson close us out today.
Oh, Mr. Thompson, before you go, I forgot that they sent me an announcement to make. And I want to make
another church announcement.
Yes.
Y'all need to have the bulletin in before service start. Going forward.
Listen, you all. He just has to do. The James Family of Utica, Mississippi presents their 2025 anniversary celebration. You all make sure that you all can go or participate. Sunday, April 27th, 2025 at 3 p.m. McKenzie Arena in Raymond. The special guests are the Sons of Joy, Sensational Chosen Voices, Anointed Voices, Utica Southern Airs. But you all, the admission is only $5. Go out and support the James Family of Utica, Mississippi for their anniversary on Sunday, April 27th at 3. I'm done.
Fabian Nelson, I want to thank you for bringing me on, and we asking everyone to come out and vote on April 22nd. If you don't vote, you don't count.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And we did have one more caller call in. Caller, so sorry, but we have to get out here handy putting us out. But please call back in next week at 6 o'clock, and we would love to take your call. To everybody else, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all have a great week and happy Easter, everybody. I'm gonna say your Easter speech for everybody, Brittany.
I love Jesus.
Happy Easter here.
Happy Easter Day. I love Jesus. I have on my yellow, you all, for resurrection.